Good morning, boys and girls! Happy Sabbath! How are you all today? I wonder where our other friends are. Do you want to help me call them? Ellie!
Hello, did you see me? I came up before you called.
Yeah, I thought I was going to call you and then you came.
Yo, good morning, boys and girls.
Let's call George next.
George! Here he comes.
Morning, everyone! Morning, boys and girls! How are you all today?
Where's Leo? Is that what we must say? Leo!
I'm coming! Hello, Leo!
Hello. Hi, George.
Hello!
Hi, Ellie.
Hello,
Hi,
Leo.
Daisy.
Hello, Leo! Oh, I'm so excited it's Sabbath today.
Yes, me too! And do you know what happens today? We find out what happened with David. Do you remember who he was going to fight?
Goliath!
That's right! Goliath the giant! I'm so excited I can hardly wait to see what happens!
Whoa.
Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air. And the giant came tumbling down. Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air. And the giant came tumbling down.
David and Goliath. It's found in 1 Samuel 17:1-58. The Philistines gathered for battle against the Israelites. The Philistines lined up on one hill and the Israelites on the other, with a valley between them. King Saul and the Israelites were camped in Elah Valley. A man named Goliath from the city of Gath came out from the Philistine camp to challenge the Israelites. Goliath was 10 feet tall and wore bronze armor that weighed about 125 pounds. His legs were also protected with bronze armor, and he carried a bronze javelin. The iron head on his spear weighed about 15 pounds. A soldier walked in front of Goliath and carried his shield. Goliath shouted at the Israelites,
"Choose one of your men to fight me. If he wins and kills me, we will be your slaves. But if I win and kill him, you will be our slaves. I dare you to pick someone to fight me."
Saul and his men were terrified. David was back in Bethlehem looking after his father's sheep. He often had to protect the sheep from attacks by lions and bears. His 3 older brothers were in the army facing the Philistines. Goliath challenged the Israelites every morning and evening for 40 days. One day, Jesse said to David, "Take this roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread to your brothers in the camp, and take them 10 cheeses. Find out how your brothers are getting along." David took the food to the officer in charge, then ran to the battle line to see his brothers. As he was talking with them, Goliath came forward and challenged the Israelites. When the Israelites saw Goliath, they ran away in terror. David asked,
"Who is this Philistine to defy the army of the living God?"
They told him the man who killed Goliath would get a big reward, marry the king's daughter, and his father's family wouldn't need to pay taxes. David was taken to King Saul.
"Your Majesty, no one should be afraid of this Philistine. I will go and fight him."
"No. How could you fight him? You're just a boy, and he has been a soldier all his life."
"I have killed lions, bears, who attack my father's sheep, and I will do the same to this Philistine, who has defied the army of the living God. The Lord will save me from Goliath."
"Go, and the Lord be with you,"
replied Saul. He gave David his armor, but when David tried it on, he said,
"I can't fight with all of this. I'm not used to it."
Instead, he took his shepherd's stick, then picked up 5 smooth stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the stream and put them into his bag. With his sling ready, he went out to meet Goliath. Goliath started walking towards David with his shield bearer, walking in front of him.
"What's that stick for?"
He shouted at David.
"Do you think I'm a dog?"
Goliath called down curses on David.
"Come on, I will give your body to the birds and animals to eat."
He shouted. David answered,
"You are coming against me with the sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. Today the Lord will put you in my power. I will defeat you and cut off your head."
As Goliath started walking towards David again, David ran quickly towards the Philistine. He reached into his bag and took out a stone, put it in his sling, around and around and around. Sing! Bing! It hit him on the forehead, breaking his skull, and Goliath fell face down on the ground. David ran, took Goliath's sword out of its sheath and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they ran away. The men of Israel shouted and ran after them, pursuing them all the way to Gath in Philistine country. David kept Goliath's weapons and returned in triumph as a hero.
Are you part of God's army, everyone?
Yes!
Yes!
I am!
Yes! Me too! Me too!
Good. So let's march while we sing and praise the Lord.
Yay!
1, 2, 3, hip. 1, 2, 3.
I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never zoom on the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army, yes sir. I'm in the Lord's army, yes sir. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never zoom on the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never zoom on the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army, yes sir. I'm in the Lord's army, yes sir. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never zoom on the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army.
How many stones did David pick up?
The answer is 5. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How tall was Goliath?
The answer is 10 feet tall. Bum, bum, bum.
Did David wear King Saul's armor to fight Goliath?
The answer is no.
What food did Jesse ask David to take to his brothers?
The answer is grain, bread, and cheese. Say it again. Grain, bread, and cheese. Yo, Goliath was.
That's right, Ellie. He was huge. So, boys and girls, do you see the lesson that we must learn from this story? I'll tell you quickly. In life, we're going to face many challenges. Some small and some big, like Goliath. But we must always remember, with Jesus on our side, we can conquer all.
Amen!
Amen.
I want to be more like David.
Me too.
Me too.
With God on my side, I do not need to be afraid. Well, boys and girls, that's all the time we have today. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you have a a favorite song you want the puppets to sing, or a story in the Bible you want to hear? We want to hear from you. If you have any questions for our puppets, you can email your letter or picture you have drawn to kidsmissionwarriors@gmail.com. That's kidsmissionwarriors@gmail.com.